and
Hello.
welcome to episode 8 of Behind the Chaos. I'm Javier,
I am Pedro.
and at episode 8, we're going to be talking about NPCs, those non-playable characters that you all love and hate in your campaigns.
This episode number 8, yes, we are talking about NPCs, right? So, what are NPCs?
So yeah, NPCs, like you guys just heard in the intro, are non-playable characters. So in the realm of D&D, that means that your favorite DM becomes and does all the different characters that you guys aren't playing. So every interaction you have, may it be with the quest giver, with the BBGE or the big bad evil dude.
What?
That all is done by the DM.
Yeah, so basically, any of the character that appears in the story and it is not sitting at the table is an NPC, right?
Yeah.
And it is portrayed and managed by the DM.
Yes.
Wow, that's quite the challenge for the DM.
That's
right?
a job, man. That's a job and a half.
Yep.
It's challenging, to say the least.
So, how, in your experience, being a DM of many years and many campaigns, successes and failures, how do you create your DMs?
My NPCs.
Yeah, how do you create your NPCs? What's your take on that?
It is depending on the type of game I'm running. So, and I know that's a bit of a kind of extended question answer, but it really depends on what type of game I'm playing. Because if it's a one shot, then I will have like a main NPC that I do everything for, voices, kind of like more of like a development on what their personality is, etc. And then everyone else will just be kind of monotone almost, right? Like, because again, it's a one shot, you're kind of like moving it along, so you just kind of get those. So like the main people of interest, then I would add some spice and flavor into them. If it's a full-on campaign and it's a hub of where you guys are going to be primarily, then I really take my time to design unforgettable NPCs.
Okay. Now, how deep do you go into the story of the NPC? Let's say, or meaning backstory, their life.
Yeah.
Like, how do you
bring it to life? Yeah.
Not bring it to life, because I guess you do a performance for that character. But how much information do you put together in order to just take into account whatever questions the players might ask the NPC while they are interacting with them?
Yeah.
Like, how deep do you go? Or do you?
I think people
make it up.
No. I think people think that you have to have this like script ready, and that's not the case. Because just like when you're doing like a character, or like for my voice actor kind of friends out there, when they're doing like a script where you get like a text and you just get like a character description, right? So you're supposed to draw inspiration from that description. So that's what I kind of do. So I would put, I don't know, let's call it Pedro Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Right. And then Pedro Gonzalez is
taking care of the tavern.
Yeah. So I give him, that's right. I give him a purpose and a job, right? So that way they incorporate into the story, and somehow the characters meet, this Pedro Gonzalez. And then they're going to have a hobby. So like they're going to have something besides their job to make them interesting.
Okay.
They're going to have a some sort of accent or speech pattern, which we're going to get a little bit into next. which will differentiate them from just my normal speaking voice. Then they're going to have character flaws or character virtues as well.
What?
So like I would sometimes add, for example, Pedro Gonzalez can be a prankster, right? So then that's a character flaw or just characteristic in general. So then Pedro Gonzalez is a prankster. So I'm going to be a prankster when the party comes around, right? So then I might, you guys might ring the doorbell and it might be buzzed. And then he would come out and say, ha, like, like whatever, right? Like, welcome to the tavern. So you give them kind of footings so that you can build on those footings. Because if you build like a full script, imagine how difficult that is if it goes off script, right? And then you're just, oh my God!
Yeah, but I guess it's pretty much the same because you don't have a script, so you can go whatever way the interaction goes, right?
Yeah. So sometimes what happens, right, is you create a character in your head, and because of how the party treats them, they become another character in real life. And that sometimes is like you just improvise, and you'll see a lot of DMs kind of like scratch out on their notes and then add like, this NPC is now a giant asshole.
Yeah,
because you guys are annoying.
That was gonna be my next question, because if the NPC suddenly changes due to the circumstances of the game and what happened, then you need to keep track of that.
Yeah.
For the next interaction to be the NPC relevant as the new person that he is, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the whole point of the NPC, right? Like, so if you, what would you think the primary function of the NPC is, like from a story-driven point of view?
So, I don't know, NPCs are there to guide the party, to give them objective missions, to serve as helpers, and I don't know, basically bring the scene or the town where they at just to life. If you go into an inn, there'll be an innkeeper, so they can interact with that. If you go to a shop, it'll be the shop tenant. So
they bring functionality.
Exactly. They make everything else works in the world where the story is developing, right?
So yeah, I mean, like if you think of video games, right? Like you have the main people that you go and have actions with, right? So like I love to bring into Pokemon because like if you remember playing the Pokemon games when you were a kid or whatever, I always found it hilarious that like, you start at your little house, right? And then you have to go to Professor Oak or whichever professor in the generation is or whatever to get your Pokemon. So that professor has to be there, and it is a plot-driven NPC that if you cannot miss, right? So that NPC there is for pure functionality and plot, right? Then you go into, like, I always remember this because you would go out of your house, you would talk to your mom or whatever parent, and then you had 3 little houses in that little fucking town, right? Yeah. And then you would go, and they were all useless conversations. Yeah, like it was like the parents of your rival that would just say, "Oh my God, thank you so much. Go to make sure to take care of Steve."
He's somewhere. He's at the they would be guiding you towards going to the professor.
But even some of them were not. They were just like, "It's good to see you," right? Yeah. Like, and that's it, right? So those are what I call filler NPCs, right? And they're in every video game, right? Like sometimes you go to a tavern in a video game, right? You're playing, I don't know, Skyrim or whatever. You go into the tavern, you have the person you purchase things from, there's a transaction there, but then you have a bar filled with other people NPCs that will just, hey, how you doing? Or whatever, right? Like, beer is good here, like, right? Like, so then those, like you said, bring the story to life, right?
Yeah, but usually those fillers will give you hints of what to do next.
Some of them will,
yeah. For example, if you go to the same tavern, then you completed the quest, and then you go talk to the guy next door, the guy next to share whatever, or right at the bar, and they will say, "Oh, like something's happening on this part of town. Like, you go there, like there's this guy that might give you, like a mission or that might give you a quest. They don't say that directly, but they would say, "Oh, something's going on here. Something's going on there."
I saw a random orb in the middle of the night in the cemetery.
Like people said they are, having encounters in this part of town. So they will guide you towards where the main quest or the main NPC are, and then you go from there, right?
Yeah. So going back to your original question, when I create NPCs, I have that very much in mind. Are they going to be what I call a primary NPC or a secondary NPC, right? So primary NPC can be, again, anything that has functionality in it. So the big bad guy has a plethora of notes because, again, that's supposed to be the crescendo of your story, right? Okay. So then that guy will have like, he's traumatized because, he did this or whatever, or he has a complicated character history because of this and this. Maybe a vendetta against, one of the characters. And because it's the big bad guy, what happens, at least to me as a DM, that it evolves over time depending on what you guys do. Like, so sometimes, like, I don't know, actually it would be great. So you guys don't know this because we stopped the campaign, but remember the last one? Remember one of the last things that you guys did was like I put a quest up for getting spider eggs.
Yeah.
And that's where Juan, unalived his character.
Yeah.
So if you guys completed that quest successfully, those eggs were actually going to go to Black Spider, and then you guys were going to have to face giant spiders at the end of the campaign. When you faced Black Spider.
Wow, that's a good one.
Right? So then it's like...
We needed the money.
Yeah, but then, exactly, you guys needed the money. And helping the town or whatever, right? But you guys never stopped to ask, like, who would need eggs? Or why, why is this quest up or whatever, right? So then I basically made it so that if you guys went for that, it made the big bad boss at the end stronger, weaker, different, right? And then it would be in his like villainous speech at the end of just kind of going like, "You've gathered my armies," right? Kind of deal.
So, oh my god. So that's another thing, right? So you created a character, and then so as a DM, the thing is, as a DM, you can drive the story. Like, like if the characters, the players, they are not going towards the actual NPCs they need to talk to, like you can force them to go there.
You force them in a non-forced way,
or just move the NPC to wherever they're going. Like, if they don't want to go into the inn, they go into the tavern because they just want alcohol and whatever. Okay, the NPC is gonna be there waiting for them either way. Like it doesn't matter.
And sometimes like
to a point, it doesn't matter what they do.
No, and then the NPC could be like could completely change appearances, right? Like so. Let's say you guys decide to go like to the middle of the forest instead into town, right? Now I can have like a pixie or an owlbear or a druid come out and let you guys know the piece of information that you guys needed anyways, right? Yes. And then a lot of the times DMs use that to really get you back on track. Thank you. So yeah, I mean, NPCs are there to help. You'll have a couple of critical ones that you kind of have from a get-go what they are. But I think honestly most of the time they change so drastically, like your normal NPC, like run-of-the-mill NPCs, that you just kind of take creative liberty, because sometimes like people will pop up, especially in long-term campaigns. Oh, we're gonna go to this town. I wasn't ready for that town or whatever, right? So then you just make everything up on the spot, right? One of those things, like, it just so happens that you just kind of get a little bit more comfortable with it as you go along. And you also create characters that you just have in your back pocket, right?
Like just backup?
Well, in the sense of like, like if you ran a campaign that like had an old lady, right, that gave some quest, or like, the wise woman of the tribe or whatever, you can keep that in your mind, right? And then like, if the town goes, if the players go into like this random town, then you can, she can be there and be like, gentlemen, welcome, right? And then you're like, oh, okay, cool, right?
So you've been doing some, voices and stuff like that. So now we talk about the story, how you come up with the NPCs, and what do you keep in mind when making them? But now the performance of the NPCs,
the actual NPCs, yeah.
Once the party encounter them and interact with them, how important is the performance, voices, mannerisms, their personalities?
Man, I think it's super important. Like, and that's just me. I've been in a lot of games where the DMs don't have that skill set, and that's okay.
It's different for every DM.
It is. Every DM.
Can you give me an example?
Well, I mean, every DM, and well, you know what? I'll give you an example with myself. Like some days, if your throat hurts, or if you just forget, or maybe you have a bunch of NPCs, like you're not always in character per se, or like let's say like there's a scene with you guys and maybe 3 different NPCs. Like it's hard to be like kind of switching in between those 3 NPCs as like the room is evolving. So you take it to where you can as a DM, right? Some DMs will do none of it, which I kind of disagree with, like because to me is an important part of feeling immersed into the story. Others will do like almost like monologues, right? Like so like when they're
what do you mean?
So like a monologue meaning like when they're doing a speech. So maybe like at the bar they'll create a bard that's like announcing some sort of experience or whatever, right? So then they'll take the time to actually make that bard like a focal point, right? And then they'll be like, hear ye, welcome all, right? And then like they make that, but then when you come talk to them, he'll talk in his normal voice.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right?
Okay,
because like now it's like, okay, moment's over. You got the gist of it. This is kind of like
it's like a cinematic moment, and that's it.
Exactly. So
going further.
Yeah. So there's 2 layers to an NPC performance, right? So to me, at least, number 1 is the characteristics, right? So is this person shy? Are they rough around the edges? Are they vulgar? Are they, like what is their actual personality? And you can, with your own voice, you can be like that, right? So like I could be very much like short with you, like, oh, like I come here to buy. Okay, what do you want? Right? As opposed to welcome. I can't, what can I help you with? We have swords, we have shields, we have whatever. Like it's very different, and you'll get a very different vibe, right? Even though I'm using my same voice.
Yeah.
So that's level 1. Level 2 is then when you include the voices, you include the things, and a lot of people get shy for the voices because they think that it has to be this otherworldly performance, right?
But sometimes I guess they just don't know really.
Yeah.
How to make voices, or because I guess it's hard to keep track of
which voice is
who. Because you have like 5. Let's say you have 5 main NPCs.
Yeah.
And you come up with 5 voices. But you need to keep track of who's, right?
Yeah. So and if you're not a professional, right? Like they might differ, right? So like a really good one is like, or a lot that you get kind of mixed in between, is when people do like a pirate and an Irish, right? So like like they use typical words of like you laddie and stuff like that, right? And then it's then you go into a pirate, and then it sounds almost similar or the same, and then everyone's like, well, wasn't that the other character?
Right. That's the thing. I mean, you need to, so I guess there's another level to that, or not a level, but you need to know. You need to have information and know the characteristics of the voice that you're trying to
accomplish. Yeah.
Do, right? Because like you said, like, okay, to me, by pirate or Irish, the same. Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not just, okay, I know how to make funny voices or whatever. It's not just the tone.
That's what I'm saying. So there's different things that you could play around with, right? And we can go over some of them because to me they're really, really fun. I love the voices, and I love going and
it looks like you have. It takes study and preparation because you need to know.
Yeah. Well, either that or just playing around, right? Like everyone's voice box is different and can do different things. But a lot of people think like it's like, oh, I have to completely change. But I once heard, and I forget who it was from. I think it's from this voice actor that I follow on Instagram. But
you follow voice actors.
I do, or like that's a step above.
Yes.
But even the Critical Role cast, right? Like you can see like when they do different characters and stuff like that, it's pretty neat, right? Like of how they change the voice. Now those are professional voice actors, so like it's a little bit different. But what I learned from this guy was that you don't even need to change your voice, like your tone or your depth or your pitch. Even changing your speed changes everything, right? So if I speak kind of like this normal, or if I slow down my speech, it can give a different effect. Yeah. Or if I really go really, really fast, kind of like this, it can give a different effect, right? So you can have a hyper character just be your voice times 2, right? And then that's it. Like, so Pedro Gonzalez can be like Speedy Gonzalez, and then just kind of go like this and be very neurotic. And oh my God, I can't believe it. Are you here to buy some stuff or not? Right? And then you just add.
Yeah, that's a skill. That
it is a skill.
Even it's like talking faster, talking slower. It is.
Yeah.
It requires practice. It's a skill.
It's a skill set. But I feel like pace of speech is one of the easiest one that you can practice at home, because again, especially slowing it down, going a little bit faster can be a little bit more
going faster is hard.
But definitely. Slowing it down, like again, for dramatic characters is super easy, and it's something that you can do. And even slowing it down a touch and taking the pauses can add either suspense or just
nice.
So here's a couple ones that I want to go over. So voices in general, right? So like you can have pace, which we talked about.
Yeah.
You can have different pitches. So like you can really go really, really, really high, or you can go really, really, really low, right? Then you go into depth. So how rich you can make your voice. So if you kind of take more breath in and expand your chest cavity, you can sound a lot more reverberating, right? You can also make different. You can also hint or hit different accents, right? So like if you really clock the T's, right? So tea time instead of tea time, Toronto instead of Toronto, right? So things like that, right? Really even help, right? Then you go into breathing, right? So like if you with the Speedy Gonzalez or the Pedro Gonzalez example, right? I started breathing faster, right? So you can have a character that is maybe anxious, right? And then go like that, right? So you can add those things. Then you go into just classic accents, right? Like, so if you're good at doing like accents such as like a British accent, then my word, how spiculous of this, right?
So so it is a skill that you have.
Yeah, and some people,
I think the easiest would be from all of those you mentioned, I guess, two, slowing down. Anybody can slow down their pace when speaking, and some accents. Like most people can imitate maybe
at least one,
two, like a different accent. Like if you're gonna be good, okay, no, maybe not, but you can try to imitate.
Yeah, it reminds me. It reminds me of you watch Friends. When Joey's like, I can do a Southern accent, and then Chandler was like, I paid for those classes, and you still sound Jamaican. It's like, what are you talking about, man? And he was trying to do like a Southerner. Oh man.
But like at least people can try to do a different accent. I'd say those are the two easiest ones.
Yeah. Well, there's a last one that's easy, and it always reminds me of the Harry Potter movie. I don't know if you're a fan or watched them or not.
Yeah,
but Barty Crouch's son, which is like one of the conspiracies or whatever, had a tick, right? So you can add different ticks to characters in order to make their expressions and vocal patterns change. So, for example, an easier example is the Joker, right?
Oh, the Joker
in the movies, right? Like they go like,
the Dark Knight.
Yeah, and he like makes a lot of sounds with their mouth, right?
Yeah.
So then, same as I think his name is Barty Crouch or whatever, in the Harry Potter movie, he used to.
Is that the guy that is a rat?
No, that's the guy that was like a. Yeah, he was an animal for a long time, and then he kept
I think the third movie.
The Tick. Yeah.
Azkaban, Prisoner of
Yeah.
Azkaban, when he's transformed back.
Yeah. So that's one where like you can be in your own voice, but if you add then you can add like an extra layer of welcome. It's nice to see you. And you add the breathing, right? And then like as you add layers, then you can add and expand your characters, right?
Yeah.
So I think like those are really cool.
Easy,
Yeah, they're a little bit easier. Or again, if you're playing like in person and you're like watching the DM, like you can also see the expressions and stuff like that, right? So I think yeah, like there's a bunch of stuff in your tool set.
even with those easy ones,
it's hard.
The hard thing would be to remember. Who's doing what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing just accents.
Yeah.
And then, but like this guy was supposed to be Irish, and I'm just doing a Jamaican accent. and the next time they come around, he's
Irish again.
Irish.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's hard.
So just to keep track of that, I think that's hard enough.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, but I think like players need to give their DMs a little bit of grace, like especially when they're trying, and the DM as well, right? Because like sometimes like characters, like players, will try to like do their own accent.
Oh, for their character,
and then mid-session, like from one sentence to the other, they can just lose it, and they're like,
yeah,
they're just in shock. They're just
especially if you're because there's another thing that adds to the difficulty is if you have a script, it's easy. You just go through the script. You have an idea of what you're gonna say. Something changed, you can maybe adapt. Yeah. But if you're just improvising, you need to improvise. You need to keep the accent going.
Yeah.
You need to keep the mannerism going. So it is, if you're not used to that, it's just levels that you let go of everything. Let me just focus on what I'm saying.
Yeah, on the story. Yeah. So like I usually
automatically
do that.
You go back to your normal voice and you just go with that.
Yeah, I usually don't sacrifice the sake of the story for the sake of the NPC, because again, at the end of the day, the story is what matters, right? But I do have a tip for that, and it's a really good tip that I learned from one of the voice actors that I follow as well, which is have a phrase that anchors you, right? So what that means is basically have a phrase that you can nail and by heart that brings you back to that character, right? So like, for example, if you're imitating Mickey Mouse, right? Mm-hmm. Oh boy, and now you can do it like this.
But then how do you implement that? You just say that?
Yeah, I mean, like you just say
mid-session, like whenever you're gonna say something, you say, oh boy. You go, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but like it's a little bit of a interruption.
I mean, if that's part of the character,
but yeah, I mean, you
can bake it into the character.
Yeah. Right? So like for example, if you're imitating Mickey Mouse, you can try to bake into the character, like when you lose it, to have it like as a tick, right? We go back to the tick where he might say, "Oh boy," like a lot of times, right? Yeah. So then, if you feel yourself kind of like losing it, then you try to bake it in and go like, "Oh boy,"
just to give you time to think what to say next. Maybe.
Yeah, and then like for the Mickey Mouse one, which is not like my best or whatever, but I always like going back to the "Oh boy," or like if you're doing like a pirate.
Isn't that Mario?
No, that's oh my god, that
Mario 64.
No, but no, the Mario is oh my god, Mario is
similar. Yahoo! Oh no, yeah, Mario 64,
yeah. It's a me, Mario. Yeah. So like, if you click to those, and then also, guys, like if you're not particularly developed that skill set, copy some of your favorite character voices, right? So like you can do Mario. Like why can't like a character just be an Italian plumber in your campaign?
Be whatever,
right? And you can just go like, it's me, Mario, the one in the tavern.
I guess
right.
Keep doing it until you
figured it out. And then like like some people like again, I just did this for the character, and it just helps you. It helps you go back into character. Like it's me, Mario. Welcome to my taverna, right? Like, and it's you just kind of go into it, right? So yeah, to me the most difficult though is the villains, because they tend to all sound the same. I tend to make them all mysterious and deep and creepy and welcome to my lair, and then they're all just like that. So that's my difficulty.
Okay. Yeah, that's how you think, right? I guess you picture them in that manner every time.
Yeah, right. Like it's never a normal guy. It's never just a guy of like, welcome.
I just decided to be bad.
Yeah. I am evil.
Nice.
Yeah, wow. But that's a lot, right?
Definitely more. And I guess just to give you credit, then that is on top of building the story, building the plots.
Oh yeah.
Everything else, and managing the party of 3-4 people. So
yeah, being a DM is hard, man.
It is.
It's not. You know what? It's a job that anyone can do, but
I guess
if you want to make it a show and you want to make it entertaining, it takes a special dedication, right? Like half-assing some of the stuff that you can do can significantly just hurt the entertainment portion of it, right?
Now,
like,
do you think? Oh, to that point, I just came up with a question.
Yeah.
So, do you think that the end performance?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, which one do you prefer? Or do you think it's more important? The end performance, the story, like the core of the story, or the performance? Like, which one do you think the players will appreciate more? Having a good story, but maybe not as many performances or different NPCs, or having a mediocre story,
but having a great performance,
but having a great performance by the DM. Man, different voices.
This might be everything. This might be a hot take. Might be a hot take, but I think the performance
beats the story.
And I'll give you a clear example, because at the end of the day, right, you're playing a tabletop role-playing game. You're
drive by.
Huh?
Stories
driven by
from the
right. Yeah, that's true. Like, you have to have good stories, but I think any story can be good if the storyteller does a good job at portraying them, right? So I think every story has meat and bones there to be able to be told in an effective way, right? It really depends on the person telling the story and becoming a good storyteller to captivate you and to want to explore more, right? So me telling you, you're going to a tavern, you have this quest, you got to beat the dragon, is very different from me going, you've met someone in the tavern. Your quest, if you so take it, for many gold is a flying wyvern that is just yonder of the mountain.
Your mission, if you choose to accept
that's right.
Mission impossible.
That is mission impossible, right? But then, like, again, like, it's very different than go kill the dragon at the mountain, right?
Okay. So we agreed with so I guess a mediocre story can be told in a good performance and make it better. And but do you think that a good story also needs, like, if the story is perfect, do you also think that it needs performance? Or
I do.
That's just a waste of.
No, it depends. It depends what you mean by, like, performance, because, like,
the performance of the storytelling.
No, but because, like, you can have a perfect story, and if your storyteller doesn't know how to tell stories, then it's a waste. It's a waste of a story.
So do you think it's not going to be as good?
No, I think it damages it. If you have a great story and the storyteller becomes bad, then you're damaging the story, right? And that happens in anime a lot, where like one season is spectacular and then another season isn't, and it's just because they changed like production or the director, right? So like, or even movie sequels, right? Like you can have Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2.
The second always bad.
But in most of the time is they change the director, right? So then like now you don't have the direction of the storyteller to tell you, okay, like this is how we're portraying these characters. This is how, the notes that you guys should take in order to advance to that, same level, right? So it's again, it might be a hot take. I'm not saying that every story, if it's not performed, it equals boring. I'm just saying that it adds a lot.
And yes, I agree.
Because like at the end of the day, like every DM starts somewhere, right? So like it could be fandolin, it could be, your own homebrew, it could be just, you trying different things, but every story remains somewhere. But at the end of the day, like what gets people to Critical Role, to Dimension 20, to like all those like amazing podcasts, such as Almost D&D or like Fantasy Pants or like all those like great.
How many there are?
Oh, dude, there's a lot. There's a lot. But all those guys have developed the skill in storytelling.
Yeah, I think it's both, right? If you have a bad story, performance can make it good to a point, and if you have a good story, performance can make it great, I guess.
Yeah.
So the performance is always adding to.
Yeah, and this is not only on the DM, the characters too, right?
What?
Yeah.
Oh no.
You guys have a job. Yeah. Because again,
play and have fun. And eat during breaks, come back, have fun. That's it.
The thing is, because at the end of the day, like I said before, it's a role-playing game.
Yeah.
Right? So if you guys are not playing your characters, not role-playing, not even taking the initiative to try something, right? Then you're only cheating yourself at the end of the day, because like you might not have as much fun if you allow yourself to just try all these things, right? So my advice to everyone out there is try that voice you've been thinking, try that, that funny little quirk that you might be, trying to bring to life, and do it, right? And those quirks can be character flaws, they can be accents, they can be everything, right? Because we focused a lot on the performance portion of it, in the sense of speech pattern, yes, right? Yes. But there's also like how you treat them, things that they have, right? Like, so again, like I mentioned, they could be a prankster, right? So then, you can make small pranks that take 2 minutes, that don't annoy the party, right? And then you can have that as your kind of character gag, flaw, right? Or running gag, right? Things can also just develop, right? So one of the things I want to talk about is that NPCs can evolve like so much from the original design
to the original idea, right?
To the end of it, right? Like I remember on your guys' campaign, for specifically Barnes and Noble, which ended up being a horse shop that didn't exist. But these guys wanted to buy horses and wanted to buy horses and wanted to buy horses. So I'm like, okay, like I'll just put in somewhere where they can buy horses, right? And I thought that the name didn't really matter, right? I'm like, okay, you arrive to a stable and you have horses, and they're like, what's the name of the establishment? And I'm like,
that's why I asked you, like, how deep do you go? Once you get to a point, you can ask whatever, right?
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, they arrived at a barn, so I'm like, barn, and then I remember the bookstore in the United States called Barnes and Noble, and I'm like, yeah, okay, it's fucking Barnes and Noble, and it ended up being a hit, right? So like from there on, I took it as like, okay, this is just gonna be a funny performance. The guy's gonna be fine, like it's gonna be more of a jokester, right? So then Mr. Barnes came out, right? And Mr. Barnes didn't even have an accent. It was just my regular voice. But what made him great, in my personal opinion, was that he really dug into what you guys wanted, which was a fun-filled horse purchasing adventure of at least 5 minutes, right? So then, what I did is I made him very prideful in his work. I made him be very
customer experience.
Yeah, very customer experience, right? So then they're like, I would like to buy your horse, and we're like, oh, we got 3-4 of them or whatever. And then we walked them around. So like, I started like signaling like, oh, look at this beautiful horse, magnificent black fur or skin, I don't know. Yeah. And then we would parade them or whatever, and these guys were eating it up. They were like, oh my God, what's the next one, right? So then I took out the next one. And I think like that I don't know, like it was just such a memorable character.
That's okay.
And it wasn't the best.
It was entertaining,
but it was entertaining.
Waste of time, but entertaining.
Well, waste of time for you. Andres wanted it. Like exactly. I wanted it so bad.
Like yes, it's part of the what happened, right? But man, we spent like 20 minutes just looking for a horse.
Yeah,
looking for a horse
that died.
just to kill the horses in the next session.
In the next session. Oh my god! So then they went back the second time, and the guy's like, "I can't get horses that fast." Right? So then they got mules. They got donkeys.
Whatever.
Oh man, that was funny.
But it was good. Like giving I guess a critique review of the NPC. Yeah, it was pretty good. Especially now that you said that you was made up on the spot.
Oh yeah. Amazing. Yeah, it was very much made up on the spot because I wasn't expecting you guys to want a full, adventure within purchasing horses, right? A lot, like it depends. Like sometimes like you can prepare something very, very a lot, and then like they just go in, they purchase whatever they need, and they like, get the hell out, and you're like, oh, done. Right, that's done. But yeah, so like we've talked about NPCs more on the perspective of like the guides right? and stuff like that. But there's also NPCs that join the party, right? And that that go through it, right? So like there's a delicate balance between having the party have access to NPCs that might be overpowered and then helping them out when they need to, right? So like NPCs can also be a very, very good balancing act where like,
what do you mean?
If you guys don't have a cleric, for example, or a healer in the party, right? I'll just kind of, if I know you guys are heading towards a challenging chapter, right? I might throw in Gildart, the paladin, and he'll be aiding you through your quest. And all he'll do most of the time is just like touch people and be healing word or lay on hands or whatever, right? Yeah. And that's it, right? And now you've balanced that challenge a little bit so that maybe they don't die. So like that's one, right? And then I can give you another example from another campaign that we were doing where I wasn't the DM, where they were very careful to not give an animal companion because that animal companion at the level we were at was probably going to beat the crap out of everybody else.
Oh, okay, it was going to be too powerful.
Too powerful, right? To have as your friend, right? So it was one of those cases where like, there was a very good interaction. There was a very good potential for the animal to join the party, but the DM at the end decided, you know what, we're going to try not to do that because again, like the following encounters might be a little bit too easy and not fun for the party if this giant, bear is here, right? So like it's up to discretion of the DM on how those things can affect the general story and balance of the story, right? So like sometimes you'll have good ones, sometimes you'll have bad ones. Other times you'll have useless ones. Well, they'll just kind of like, you'll just kind of have a scaredy cat that runs around in circles while you guys are trying to fight, the whatever you're fighting, right? So
so from all of the NPCs that you have created and interacted with as a player, which ones are the ones that you more memorable to you? And the ones that you hated the most?
I don't know. I've been a DM for a long time as of late. So I don't know. I don't think I can think of ones that I've hated because I've created them. So
maybe not hated, but maybe you created them in a way to do something, and then the party make you change them and do something completely opposite to what you had planned for that NPC.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. So I think, do you remember the mayor at Fandolin?
Yeah.
Right, and he was like very much a whipped, useless guy that wouldn't even open the door and whatever, right? So like I took that to another level, which I think like was okay in terms of like the character, but I hated playing it. I hated playing it because it was like I took it to a level of too scaredy cat and too like useless to actually make it anything relatable in the plot. So then I think I would have done that one differently. Nothing to do with you guys, but I think like I would have just tried to do that, because then you guys were able to kind of like bully him a lot easier than expected, right? Because then it would have gone against that character creation kind of it. So that's one of the least favorites that I guess was for me to play. I think one of my favorite ones was that goblin that you guys found in the cave, Ymir.
That was the first cave? No,
the one that
later, yeah.
The one that was gonna push Sildar down
the one we were gonna kill, and then we ended up not killing. I don't remember why. And yeah, he ended up guiding us through.
Yeah, that's because Vitor was like was just like turning it on.
I remember that one.
It was so funny, man. I loved playing that character because he was just lulz. He was literally like, Goblin Master of Cave now.
I remember that, like, he was helping, but looking for the chance to
be there.
so it's like, if you take the ice away from me, like I'm gonna just run away.
He was always just trying to like do whatever benefited him, right? So it's like, Ymir wants to come, boss. And you guys would just like whip him into shape. Oh man, it was freaking hilarious. And I think that was the session you guys laughed the most.
Yeah, that was pretty good. In that one, if I remember correctly, Juan was talking to fucking every creature.
Every creature. One has that.
Yeah, that was.
But so like those are two of my like most memorable ones. What are some of your? Because I mean, you were in the campaign, right? So
for me, I guess the most memorable in the one that I interacted the most was Elsa.
Yeah.
Just because of what happened in the story. So I guess that wasn't the plan for her.
No, not at all.
Right?
Not at all.
There you go.
That immediately changed when you're like, I'm looking for thick-tailed dragon ladies, and I was like, fuck. I was like, why? That
was part of my character since the beginning. That was in the script.
There was no barmaid at all.
What?
In the story.
But she was there the first time we came to the town.
There was not supposed to be a barmaid.
Oh,
you guys asked for a waiter. Like, you guys came in and you're like, oh, like, waiter, whatever.
I think we sat around.
Yeah, you sat around and you mentioned a waiter, so I put in a waiter. I put a wench. But yeah, in the actual story, that was not supposed to be there. And then
so then that NPC wasn't part of the story,
and it became a critical part.
Because then it was involved in the main plot.
Yeah,
because it drive us to make some decisions that just to save her. And what happened?
Yeah, so what happened?
It was deeply involved in the plot.
Yeah, so what happened there is, like, again, NPCs you can use in many different ways, right? Like, so when characters such as yourselves kind of go off the beaten path and are doing like nonsensical things, which you guys kind of were, because I was trying to like lead you to the clues about Glassstaff and the Black Spider, and that you had to go this way and that way and whatever, right? And you guys were just completely ignoring them. I decided to set an event. What?
You were giving us options.
Well, you have to.
But too many.
Maybe.
And then we just going with whatever. Side quests here, side quests there, side quests this.
Yeah, so there was a lot in that story that wasn't there and wasn't a thing, right? So and one of those things was Elsa and the heavy involvement that Elsa had, because once you started looking for that, then I gave it, right? Like, again, that's one of the things that as DMs, like, it's important, right? Like, we need to analyze our players and say, like, okay, they want some shape form of this, right? And at that moment you were looking for thick-tailed dragon ladies. So I made one up, right? And I had it so that you took it to whichever level you wanted, right? So then at first it was very much like, I flirted and then she just waved you off. but then you started to want to flirt again. So that to me meant you want something to come of that relationship, right? So then I made it so that it was that. And then at the end, when you guys weren't paying attention to the actual clues of things, in my head, I said, well, I need something that matters to them, at least from either a Pedro perspective or a Sagar perspective, right? Something that matters to them, and put it where I need them to go, right? And that's what ended up happening, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so, I mean, like Bartolomeo wasn't supposed to have a sex dungeon.
The shop tenant, right?
No, yeah, that was a shop tenant. Yeah, like he wasn't supposed to have a sex dungeon. So
that's another one that was we interacted quite a few times
and always had a different voice.
Well, I don't know. No, he was like a soft boy.
Yeah, he was an old man.
So, there you go. At least I remember that.
There you go.
And we came up with a sex room. How?
Because Andres.
Like he wanted to go to the back to look for something.
Yeah, he's like, oh, do you have like gags?
Oh.
So then I took that to the next level, and I'm like, okay, yeah, there's gags, but
we're looking for something to
gag.
Yeah, to gag somebody.
Yeah.
Right, just to who was last time?
Yeah, I think you guys wanted to gag last time.
Something or to casting something. He asked for the gag.
Yeah.
And then
I just took it to the next level. Yeah.
To my bedroom here, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you find the dungeon.
Yeah, so like stuff like that I made on the spot, right? Like again, Bartolomeo was never a pervert or anything of the sort, or a kink guy, right? But because I was giving the opportunity, again, I analyzed what the players wanted and then gave them and threw them a bone. And made it so that was that, right? So then that transformed Bartolomeo for the rest of the campaign, right? Similar to
Goblin, not the Toblin.
Goblin, not the Toblin, not the Goblin. Yeah,
Toblin, not the Goblin. After his tragic death
of the kids,
disappearance of the kids and the paladin,
and his best friends. Yeah.
Oh, so that's one that I hated. The one that I hated the most. Actually, it's not yours. Is the witch.
Baba Yaga?
Yeah.
Why?
Just because, I mean, that was we didn't know, but that was a tragedy, right? Like the whole plot was tragedy, right?
Yeah.
So it was supposed to end good. I guess it's the beginning, because we didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
But
you didn't know you didn't have a chance.
Exactly. We didn't know. So while in the story, like. We were trying everything just to fight this fucking witch.
Yeah.
And we didn't have the opportunity, right? So she was just left fleeing, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I we didn't have the opportunity to even do nothing.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, we had plenty of opportunities to try to get things going, but it just, the dice weren't in our favor.
Oh,
man.
Also that.
The dice weren't in our favor.
And then the fucking chicken started running.
Yeah, the house started running. Yeah, like it just wasn't in our favor. But
we were failing in the DM was fucking killing me because we were hit by a few ranch attacks.
Yeah,
that were pretty.
No, and he did I think a masterful job.
That one was.
I think he did a masterful job in that one shot because it was a very good display of not all stories go well.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And even though we tried, like he had, like I talked to him after, and he had a plan of going good and going bad, but it was more like 70% of the chance was that it's going to go bad, right? So it was. I think that part was really fun, and that's how you can also make NPCs very memorable, right? Like now we know the witch. Overpowered, very strong.
But it wasn't even overpowered. It was just running. It was just running, and we didn't have the means to actually engage.
Yeah. So
and then poof, done. Go home. What?
So I guess like you said which one was which one's the one that you hated because you
so that one, the witch for sure, because we didn't have a chance to actually do anything.
Yeah.
And then the other one was the adventurer, the retired adventurer.
Daryl.
Oh my God, I hated this guy. I couldn't do anything, but I hated the guy because. So the first interaction was we went to the guy's house. were looking for help, information.
Yeah.
He knew he had information, and he said, "Oh, I'm gonna help you." And then he locked the door, go inside, and disappeared. What?
He was putting his armor on, man.
Yeah, right. And then, the character, my character, was a little hot-headed, I guess. But then this other Angus jumped in front ahead of me, and he got destroyed. And then I said, like, okay, I'm not fucking with this guy. I know. He was super powerful.
And Juan got clapped by just collateral.
Exactly. So they both were down. Done.
Yeah.
But then he never helped us.
No, he's not supposed to.
Every time we talk to the guy, yeah, go to this place. I'll meet you there. Done. This never appeared, never showed up.
He tried.
Oh, yeah, sure. And then useless NPC.
Yeah.
Just go there. I'll meet you there. I need permission from the whatever. And then I hated that guy. So, but also I couldn't do anything because.
But that's the thing. You hated that guy. But the performance.
I'm talking about that. I'm talking like the NPC as NPC.
Yeah.
Like he was useless to the party. He was just telling us, go here. They will be there. There will be 40 enemies.
Yeah.
I'll help you. Close the door behind him and disappear. That's it.
Yeah. Well, he's supposed to be like that, right?
Well, so that was the plan. But
that's the fun part because he wasn't supposed to be like that. But because you guys kept pushing and pushing and pushing, I made him a character that punishes a little bit.
Well, so
because that was an overcorrection. But it was really, really fun for me to play that guy because it was so funny seeing you guys desperately wanting this guy's help, and then you're like, yeah,
supposed to be.
Let me put in the paperwork.
Almighty adventurer. I mean, he downed 2 members of the party with 1 hit. So
yeah, but it was
so
he's a
like
fun
performance-wise perfect, but the NPC as shit, man.
And then I want to finish off. We're almost done with the episode. I want to finish off with NPCs that don't get players' attentions, right? So, like for example, there was.
But you prepare.
Yeah.
NPCs that you prepare and then we just
ignore. Oh my god, I fucking hate that. And as a DM, it's like so frustrating.
Like we had those.
Yeah. What was her name? Hela.
Oh, the lady from the mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, she was supposed to welcome Sagar into like this cult or whatever, or this guild per se. And she goes to Sagar and gives him one of the heroic handshakes and goes like, if you want power, you can take it or whatever, some shit like that.
Oh yeah.
And this guy just keeps walking.
Yeah, thank you. Let's go. We have a quest.
Never again mentioned it, said anything. The guy was just like it never happened, and I was like, well, I guess I'm scratching this whole part of my adventure out. But that was like things like that.
Man, that's the thing. Then if you prepare all of that, and we didn't even pay attention, we didn't develop that, or just gave you the opportunity to develop that.
Yeah.
Man, that's why I guess there must be a balance of how deep you go.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, if they interact and they show interest in what this NPC is giving them, or
well, there's different tools. There's different tools, and we can talk about that in a future episode. There's different tools that you can use to manipulate the story. I
mean, you're the DM, you can do.
Yeah, right. Like, so for example, that might have not been a good way to approach you or entice you to go down that path. Maybe later in the story, you meet another character, or you end up at their headquarters for some reason, or you kind of go into it if it's something that you really kind of want to explore, right? So like I would throw in a couple more apples down your way to see if you grab an apple or not, right? And
I guess if you let it go, it wasn't an important problem.
Well, for now. But it was made up by me anyway. Like it was more.
Everything was made up by you.
No. We're following a module, right? So like the thing is, like, I'm adding and subtracting a bunch of stuff, right? But I think like it would have been a lot of fun. But then again, like NPCs are also great. Last point, guys. I swear, NPCs are really good for adding shenanigans, right? Like, for example, you and Elsa, you wanted to take her to the fucking apple orchard.
The date,
yeah, like you took her out on a date, and it was like an apple orchard, and you guys baked fucking pies or whatever. That was good because you learned how to grow tomatoes from her or whatever, right? So like, I think like NPCs like that are so valuable because at the end of the day, you get that attachment, right? Like you get that, like, you know, those 5 minutes of fame where like the story is all about you for a second, right? And then you get to go on and explore that, right?
So yeah, to that, what I would say is like give like a little pacing to the story.
Yeah.
Because like we were finishing a quest, we come back to town, and if you didn't have that, it's just like, oh, let's go talk to the guy, get the next quest out of town.
Yeah.
And it's just like in and out, and then that's it. Like
it becomes video game like, right? Like
exactly.
Now,
and then now you're just like chilling in town, doing something, developing the character.
Yeah.
Going about their interest in what they want to do. So yeah, I think that's pretty good for the story, for the immersion, as you said. So yeah, well done.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that is
episode 8.
Episode 8. We're at 1 hour, of course.
It's supposed to be 30 minutes.
It's supposed to be 30 minutes. My Jesus Christ. Time flies, but thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate every single one of you guys who listens. Let it be 5 people, 15, 25, 40, and maybe someday up to 100.
Where can they find us?
Yeah, they can. You guys can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, and our own website. Our Instagram is chaotic studios. Chaotic_studios_. Our TikTok is chaotic.studios. Our website is chaoticstudios.ca. And you can find us under Behind the Chaos in YouTube and Spotify. It would not be a Beyond the Chaos episode without a shameless plug. So we're here to talk to you about our mystery minis. It is a great method to build NPCs or PCs or villains because you get 2 miniatures per mystery mini, and they can be either heroes, villains, or just generic adventurers. So you can, instead of making an NPC and then finding a mini for it, why not have the other way around, right?
Get the mini,
and then let the creative juices flow into your next NPC and or playable character if you are a character, or if you're a DM and want to be the mean guy, build a wonderful villain that maybe is a little bit psycho. So mystery minis at chaoticstudios.ca, as well as Etsy if you're in Canada, because tariffs. But
peace out
for everything.